Hello, everybody, and welcome tonight. We hope you're excited to be here. My name is Mitchell Little. I'm the program manager for the short courses that you're interested in. They're known as the undergrad certificates, which is part of the qualification that you receive at the end of it. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to my team. I have with me Bahia Suren, who is our student success coordinator. So she's the person who looks after the students and makes sure that you're getting everything you need. I have Rachel Renwick. She's one of our learning and teaching coordinator. She looks after our cybersecurity courses, our early childhood courses, and our business course. I have with us Maria Dent. Maria Dent looks after all of our health science courses, and she also looks after a couple of the ICT units. I also have with us Jack Isherwood. Jack looks after the mental health and counselling course, as well as a few of the ICT courses and our science course. Environmental sustainability, and I also have with us Maisha, and Maisha, it looks after our engineering courses. You're going to hear from all of those in a moment. They're all going to come and speak to you in a variety of ways. But first, I want to talk to you about how these courses came to exist, why they exist, why we're excited about them, and why we hope you're really excited about them as well. So if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a photo of me. It's very flattering. This photo was sent to me by a colleague just almost a year ago to the day. This was after about my 5th Zoom meeting of the day. And I had been living in this space, and that was the look on my face pretty much all day, every day. As we all know, a year ago, the world was plunged into chaos. None of us expected to be working from home. People lost jobs unexpectedly. People lost their livelihoods. The world was literally turned upside down. As a response, the government offered extra funding to universities who were prepared to launch short courses to help people reskill or upskill or change their career path during these times. And so these short courses were born out of that. And so while they started as a response to COVID-19, they grew from that into us rethinking the way we do education, rethinking the flexibility that we can offer, rethinking how we can use technology to reach people that perhaps haven't studied previously, and how we can provide pathways into university that perhaps other people haven't considered before. So tonight we want to talk to you about what an undergrad certificate short course looks like, what you can get out of it, and how education from our point of view has changed as a result. So we really want to go over this in detail with you. There'll be a chance for you to ask questions at the end, and I do encourage you at any point to put chat questions into the chat box. So if there's something we say and you've got a question about it, please jump in and ask that question as soon as it comes up. And we'll go over them at the very end. And if we do happen to miss a question, we try not to, please feel free to ask it again. If you're really, really brave, when we get to the Q&A, feel free to jump off mute and ask the question up front, but we do understand that can be a little bit daunting the first time here. So what is an online short course? So number one, these short courses provide a taster into new areas. So it used to be if you wanted to study at university, you had to submit to a 3-year degree. And if you didn't finish the 3-year degree, well, you basically wasted whatever you did. What this provides is a 6-month taster where you can walk away after 6 months with a qualification. And so these are brand new qualifications on the Australian Australian qualification framework. And so they exist there. They can help you move employment into different areas. You don't have to commit to years of study, as I just mentioned. And these courses are not simply, tick the box courses. These courses are genuine university courses. The units that you complete are university level units. So if you go on to study at the university, it's the exact same unit. You'll get credit for that unit at Western Sydney University because the units are considered to be equivalent. And so they're not just simple courses that you go through. These are courses that give you university level credit. The content, number one, is designed to be real world. And the biggest thing that we say is we have a policy, no exams in our courses. We don't believe that exams are the best way to examine students. We don't believe that it's the most effective way to do that. And so what we want to do is we want to make real world assessments where the sorts of assessments you're going to do are going to be assessments you would do in the workplace. So if you're in early childhood, we want you designing childhood patterns. If you're in health science, we want you to be running and working out, okay, if I was working in an aged care facility, how would I do a program to help out these people who are elderly? If I'm in science, you'll go out and do experiments in your own community. We want you to be doing real world assessment that actually prepares you for the work that you're going to be doing. Not just an exam where you're gonna, if you're like me, when I was at university, you'll cram the night before, you'll study really hard, you'll get in there, you'll do the exam and instantly forget everything that you just learned because the exam was just there to pass the course. There's no on-campus requirements. These courses are 100% fully online, which means that you never have to attend a campus no matter where you are in the country. If you're an Australian citizen or a permanent resident, you can do these courses. We understand what it's like to come back. Of this team, most of us have studied as mature age students. Most of us have come back to university at a different point in our life. So we understand how difficult it can be to study. Therefore, these courses are designed with support in mind. They're not just correspondence courses where you get given the content and off you go and you've got to make best. The teachers are there to support you. You've got a student success coordinator in Bahia who is there to support you all the time. That's their job, so that the environment is designed for support and flexibility. We want people to study in your own time. We understand that you've probably got full-time jobs. You might have family. You might be a stay-at-home dad, a stay-at-home mum. You might have a full-time job and you're trying to get better at that job, which is why you're doing this course. These courses are designed for people who are busy. So you get to decide when you study, and Jack's going to talk to you a little bit more about how that actually looks on the ground in just a little bit. On top of that, you are a university student. The moment you enroll in these courses, you are a university student. You get the same access to all the services that you would get at any other university. Bahia is going to speak to you about some of those services in just a bit. And probably the most exciting thing about these courses is that these courses make up the first 4 units of a diploma, which means that if you were to continue studying into a diploma, you would get credit for that. I know that when I failed my HSC miserably many years ago, and I wasn't accepted into any universities, I went searching for another way to get into university. And the best they could offer me was go do a TAFE course, complete the TAFE course. If you do good enough in the TAFE course, maybe you'll get accepted into university. And if you get accepted into university, maybe you'll get credit for some of the work you've done. The difference with us, if you finish our course, you complete the 4 units, you are guaranteed an offer into the diploma that corresponds to your undergrad certificate or your short course, and you are guaranteed credit for all 4 of those units if you follow our pathway. So there's none of this apply and we'll see what we can do. It's guaranteed every single step of the way. So what are the actual courses? Now, I understand that some of you probably registered for this session before our full suite of courses was actually up online. So we actually offer a whole bunch of courses. So we have 4 that fall into the health science category. So we've got public health support, health service management, aged care support, and disability. All 4 of those correspond across into a diploma of health science, which would also lead to a Bachelor of Health Science. We've got a mental health and counselling course. What I do need to make really clear about that is it's not an accredited counselling course. Why I want to say that is I've seen counsellors in my life, and I don't know that I want to tell my deepest, darkest secrets to someone who studied for 6 months and did 4 units. I think I want them to have a little bit more training than that before I open up to them. But this is the start of a journey into that field. This will give you access to jobs like a mental health support worker. It will give you access to mental health support and roles like that. And I can tell you right now that this is a massively growing field. If you just go on to seek.com and type in mental health support worker, you'll find 10 pages of jobs where people are looking for people who can do these sorts of jobs. We have got an ICT course. So information and communication technology, basic IT, an introduction to IT. Environmental sustainability. So again, looking at the environment, looking at the way that, that science contributes to this field. But I do need to point out to this on this one, it is really important that if you're not a local student, if you want to complete the diploma, you have to be able to be on campus for the diploma section of the science course, simply because there are practicals and there are labs and things that you couldn't be able to do online. You can do the whole undergrad certificate online. You just can't go onto the diploma online. Our new courses, cybersecurity, cybercrime and behavior. This is a really exciting course. It's a growing field, obviously. It's a field that we need to understand more as people try to scam us and take our details. You know, it's terrifying to think of just how much information you have on your phone, and what would happen if you lost your phone and it was unlocked, and just think about all the things people could find out about you. So this is a field that is growing daily. And it's a merging of not just the IT side of cybersecurity, but also the behavioral side, the psychology of it, the policing aspects of it, the legal aspects of it, and what that comes down to. On top of that, we've got business management. So a pretty straightforward basic introduction to business and engineering. One that I've left off here, we also do have early childhood, which is there as well. Again, another growing field. And so what's important to point out is these courses won't on their own qualify you to work in these fields. But if you think about all the sorts of jobs, and we'll talk about those later on, these sorts of jobs are the sorts of jobs that will give you an advantage there. So I can see that the Tabor has put a comment there saying, will an ICT course be beneficial for administration or data entry jobs? Absolutely. It's actually perfect for that, where you're going to do some basic programming, some basic networking. You're going to understand sort of information systems and the way they all work. You're going to look at the way that all of those sort of suite of, whether it be Excel, Word, and all of those office works come together to form an ICT package. And so, yeah, absolutely. These are the sorts of jobs where if you can get the job, these will give you the massive advantage in the interview. This will give you a massive advantage when you're doing the role. It's about upskilling, reskilling, but it also puts you on a pathway to university. So if university was something that you never considered doing before, our courses will give you the taste for what it would be like. And on top of that, our courses are open access, which means that if you dropped out of school in year 8, you're welcome to give our courses a crack. We can't guarantee you'll be successful, and we will do everything in our power to make sure you are successful, but everybody is welcome to give our courses a crack. Gone are the days where we stand there on our lofty ideals and say university is only for some people. As far as we're concerned, university should be for everybody. So I'm going to pass over to Maria. Maria's going to talk to you about the special way that our courses run in block mode, why it's different and why it's important.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Dev and I am the Learning and Teaching Coordinator for the Health Science units and 2 units for the ICT course. What is unique about the online short course is that students study 1 unit at a time. This allows you to be able to focus on one subject for 6 weeks. You, as a student, will be able to immerse yourself in the unit content and be able to concentrate on the assessment tasks for the unit. This is quite different to the typical way of delivery at university. At university, you would often enroll in 4 units and are required to manage the study load of all 4 units simultaneously. With the online short course, you have the opportunity to focus on just 1 unit at a time. Each online short course comprises of 4 units. Each unit will be delivered in 6-week block, and you will have a 2-week break in between each block. Students are able to complete their short course in 6 months' time, and 6 months of study is equivalent to 1 semester of study. Block C will commence on the 26th of April, and after successfully completing the 4 required units of your online short course, you will have the option to move to a diploma within Western Sydney University, or to actually just start using your new skills. And as Mitchell mentioned already, please note for the environmental sustainability course, you do need to be a local student in order to progress to the diploma at Western Sydney University. And I will now pass you on to Jack.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you everyone for coming tonight. It's great to see so many people, and I really hope that you decide to join us. But just wanted to chat about how these courses work. I think one really unique and distinctive element of how courses work is that they've been deliberately designed to be as flexible as possible for you. So for example, there's no fixed class timetable for these courses, meaning that your weekly class time will be negotiated between you and your teacher early in week 1. Your class will take place online, usually using the Zoom platform, which is super easy to use and to navigate, and it typically lasts for 1 hour. And if you can't make a class, please don't worry, it will be recorded so you can catch up later in your own time. In addition, beyond your weekly 1 hour class, your teacher will also facilitate 4 hours of what we call asynchronous learning for you. And what that means very simply is that activities will be created for you to complete in your own time on our student learning website, which is called Views. And you can go through these materials at your own pace. Some examples of these materials include short lecture pods, which provide you with a general overview of the main ideas of the week. It could be discussion board activities where you're assigned a problem to solve in collaboration with your classmates. It could be collaborative brainstorms, revision quizzes, reflection tasks. You're going to have a lot of diverse and very engaging content to work with. Something that's really unique about the way that we approach learning in these courses is that we like to use something called the challenge of the week, which is a really nice anchor into the weekly content. Basically, your teacher is going to set to you a real world or a career relevant challenge, a task for you to complete, either by yourself or in collaboration with your classmates. And these tasks are designed to be really fun and engaging and exciting for you to complete. And they'll really help you stay motivated and stay focused throughout your studies and help you to prepare for your unit assignments. The second element of our course, again, is linking all the content to the real world and particularly to your future career ambitions and goals. And we do this through a number of different ways. I can talk to you about our assessment strategy, for example. In our environmental sustainability units, we have a really strong focus on getting you into the great outdoors and taking scientific measurements, because this is really important skill for you to master. So, for example, for the unit environmental issues and solutions, we get you to go out and take noise pollution readings. And for our ICT units, we ask you to engage with professional computing platforms that you're going to use at work in the future, like Cisco, Academy, or Greenfoot. And this is really important, I think, because it makes our assessments fun and engaging, and they won't feel like a boring chore or a massive hurdle you have to get through. So to sum up, you can work on the weekly content whenever it's convenient for you. Whether you're a shift worker, you can do that work, when you come back from work at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you're a parent, after you drop your kids off to school, it's really designed to be flexible around your needs. You're going to have excellent support. You're going to be regularly in touch with your teacher, whether that's through email, through the unit discussion board, through your weekly class. And you're going to have the opportunity to also connect with your fellow classmates this way too. And I think in addition to this flexibility point, something that is really, really crucial is that you're going to be actively supported all the way through your studies. And Rachel is going to chat to you shortly about some of the general support services we offer you and what our expectations are of you in return. So I hope that was helpful, useful. I'll hand you over to Rachel.
Thank you, Jack, and welcome everyone. It's really lovely to have you all here tonight. Part of my job as learning and teaching coordinator is to sort of let you know what our expectations are. So obviously you have some expectations of us, which is great, and we hope we meet them. But you also need to be aware that you need things like a relatively good level of computer skills, good internet connection. You need a webcam and microphone, not just for the Zooms, but for some units, they have some group presentations, or even when you have to record your own presentation on yourself on your computer. So if you've got relatively good skills, such as you can Google some things, you can download some files, you can send some emails, then you're probably okay to get started. We've got lots of support that can help you. And one of the other things that we do have is a really nice learning platform that there's got lots of support there for you as well, which I'll talk to you a bit about in a minute. As part of your course requirements, you're obviously going to have to set aside some time to study, and we generally say between 10 and 20 hours a week. Obviously, that depends on how detailed you go into the readings, how much time you want to spend researching your assessments and all those sorts of things. So I know it can sound a little bit daunting, but from my experience, if you're someone that leaves things till the last minute, you might have a few issues, but my advice is to plan. To plan it all out before you really get stuck into the unit and you get to week 3 and go, uh-oh. So map out things like your life outside of study, birthdays, school sport, well, hopefully travel for work when we get back to that. So we also want to support you. So a lot of the units also have planners and reminders and those sorts of things that we try and encourage you to get started early. So we really want to help you sort of to reach your goals, and we want to help you get there, but we also need a little bit from you as well. So the university also has a lot of support, especially for students that haven't studied for a number of years. You know, Mitchell touched on it before about sometimes back in the day we had correspondence courses where we'd get sent information, but now it's all online. It's all available to you up front, which is great. You can see exactly when your assessments are all due, when you've got to submit work, you can do it all ahead of time. So there are lots of support for this. So we've got things like a student success coordinator. They can help you get disability plans in place if you have a disability. They can help you, contact counselling when you're stressed. We can put you in touch with the library. We can help you with referencing and all of those things that can be a little bit daunting when you're a new student to academic life. So just for the record, for example, you might want to just even ring up Bahia and have a chat about your course and just say, look, I'm really enjoying it, or look, I'm really struggling with this particular part of it. And she's happy to help you through all of that. So new students also have access to a special site on our online platform, which is called Views. And that will help you with academic literacy. And the teachers in academic literacy also run Zoom workshops where you can go and ask questions and they can help you with particular issues that you're having. And that site is also available to you 24/7. So you can go on there and go, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I need help writing a paragraph. What structure do I use for, academic style? And you can just go on there and you can find a whole lot of information in one place. Really easy to navigate. Great. And the last thing that we've also got for you is 24/7 support through Study Smart Online. So they can have a look at your drafts. They can log on 24/7 to a face-to-face tutor for a 20-minute tutorial that you can talk about theories and concepts and how to get started with a particular subject. So there's lots of that. It's all free, and that is available to you as an online student. So there are lots of elements there. So I think now, Maisha, I think it's going to be over to you and you can explain to everyone what our learning platform's about.
Thank you, Rachel. And good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in this information session. I am Maisha Tabassum. I am the Learning and Teaching Coordinator in Undergraduate Certificate for Engineering course. So I'm looking after all the engineering units. I'm very pleased to meet you all today. And also, it is really wonderful to see your interest for our online short course. Already you all are aware that our program are fully online with full of flexibility, right? So maybe at this point you are thinking from where I will find the learning materials or resources for my studies, correct? The good news is you don't need to worry at all. You will be so excited to know that after you enroll in the course, you will find everything you want for your studies in one place. And the name of that place is Views. So VUWS, we pronounce it Views. Views is the student learning online platform used by our university. It is based on Blackboard actually. You'll be happy to know that our view site has been designed to make your life easy and comfortable during your journey in our online course. All of the content of your course is nicely organized into weekly folder in this view site. So it is the place where you will access all of your weekly content, learning materials, actually everything you need for your studies. And also, it is the place where you will engage with your fellow students. For example, our students use discussion board through this view site. Also, it is the main place where you can access the key communication about your studies. For example, we always post announcements on this site. In addition, you will submit all of your assessment through this platform. So the beauty of this view site is it is very user-friendly and very easy to navigate for all of you. And you can access this view site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during your teaching block. To sum up, the online platform will, for our online platform, this view site will always make you feel connected with your studies as well as with your teachers and peers. This is a wonderful platform for our online program. And finally, I would like to emphasize that so far our students enjoy their studies through our view site, and therefore we believe you will also love our online platform, our view site. And definitely you will enjoy your studies when you will start your journey in our online program. Well, at this point, I would like to hand over this to B. She is going to talk about the support service offered to you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Maisha. Hello, everyone. I'm Behir, or you can call me B, and I am your student success coordinator. So we know that starting a new course, especially if you haven't studied for a long time, or if you're an older student who's working full time and you've got family, that it is a stressful time because you are learning how to navigate new systems, such as the view site that we just told you about, and you're learning new content. Perhaps you haven't studied in a long time and you're just not used to it anymore. And so we're basically here to help you to have not only the academic support that you need, but someone like me is here to also help you with any kind of issue that might be coming up for you. For example, so you could be talking about your courses with me, whether or not you're in the right course, whether or not you've enrolled in the right unit, for example. If you are in the right pattern of study, meaning if you are doing the right order of units in the right way. So I'll be helping you with your progress at every step of your course along the way. And also, you might be struggling with the stress of study. And so you might need a referral to counselling or welfare services. And what's great is that all of those services are free at Western Sydney University. So if you come to me, everything that you need to talk about will be, confidential, but I will channel you and direct you and guide you to the right people. And we've got so many. So we've got the counselling services I mentioned, we've got disability services, where, for example, if you break your hand and you need someone to write for you or type for you, we can get someone, taking notes for you. If you need someone to translate for you because you speak Auslan, we can assign you with an Auslan translator. Sometimes you might need to contact me for something called special consideration, which means if you're not feeling well, you might want to have an extension. We do have extensions that you can talk to me about that are simple. You just ask, for a bit of extra time, but sometimes you might be going through a health issue or a personal issue, with family, and you might need longer time. So I can help you, fill in those forms or get you into the right place to fill in those forms. And also further services that we have at the university, Rachel's already mentioned to you. So we can help you with your literacy if you haven't written for a while. If you need IT support because we're doing everything online, you might need some help. We've got IT services available. You can access them online or on the phone. And what else can we do for you? Welfare services can help you with financial support and connect you, with I think with Centrelink, you may or may not have access to, but they can help you with all kinds of things like housing and financial assistance. So the main thing that we want you to know is that you have a lot of support like any student at the university would have. You would have the access as well, that those services are free, that I'm your contact person for that. So you just need to get in touch with me and I will help you find the right channel of support. And then finally, it's, we say ask early and ask often. So if you have questions, definitely come to me. ask those questions, and there's, yeah, just do it frequently. There's no limit to how many questions you can ask. Thank you. I think who are we moving on to? Zoha is going to talk to you now about how you will apply.
Thank you so much for that, Bea. We'll just move on now to the application process. So now that you've got information about the courses and what they're all about, now's the time to actually consider applying for the course. So in terms of how you would actually apply, it's a very simple, very easy process. You make a free direct application online through the Western Sydney University application portal. So you can either use the link that's on this slide, and that will be provided to you in the chat box of this Zoom, or if you go through the Western Sydney University homepage and search up undergraduate certificates, you'll be able to access the application portal from there. With the application process, it's really quick and simple. You just need to first create your account so you can log in and track the progress of your application. You need to put in your personal details as well as indicating the course that you actually want to be considered for and when you wish to start. Because as we'll be going through a bit later in the session, there are different intakes for the online short courses. So you want to make sure you're selecting when you'd wish to start the course. And then once you've done that, you simply submit the application, and then that will be assessed. You'll get an email once everything has been processed. The earlier that you apply, the earlier you can expect to hear back regarding the application itself. So yeah, it's a very simple, very easy process. I highly encourage that if you are interested in the online short courses that you make an application for the course. In the actual application portal, you can have up to 6 different preferences for your application. So if you're interested in more than one online short course, but you're not really sure which one you want to do, you can put in a few different options. So we'll just go through the My Western portal. So the My Western portal, you'll be using that a lot as a student at the as part of a student in the online short courses. So the My Western Student Portal, it's basically your one-stop shop for all the different services at the university. So with the My Western portal, you can access from there the View site, you can access your student email, which is really important to have access to regularly. You can also access like recent news and updates on the My Western portal. If you need to contact IT, you can do that through there. You can check your enrollment through there as well. So all of your different services are in this one place. So rather than logging into multiple different sites, you just log into this one site and you can access My Western. My Western can be accessed through the Western Sydney University homepage under the tab My Western, and you just log in there once you're a student. So that's My Western. And we'll just go through now to student life. So although these courses are fully online, that doesn't mean that you can't experience like all the typical kind of extracurricular activities that a university student might be a part of. So we do have lots of online virtual opportunities to be involved as a student. So we have things like there's leadership opportunities. We have mates mentoring, where you can kind of interact with other students who might be new to the university too. We have lots of different student clubs. So any interest that you can think of, there's a club for it. There's an anime club, there's sporting clubs, music clubs. So there's definitely something out there for you. So if you are interested in getting involved in extracurricular activities outside of just studying the content, we definitely do recommend that you get involved. And you can be involved in this through Western Life, which is an online application. And if you head through to Western Life, once you're a student, you can log in and access all the different activities that are running. And there's heaps of online opportunities that you can look out for there. So the last thing I kind of want to discuss is staying connected. So that's probably the most important thing to really take away from this information session, is that if you have any questions, do give us a call or send an email. Our contact details are here. So that's our contact number, 1300 668 370. There's also a specific email for the online short courses, which is listed there. So ugcerts at westernsydney.edu.au, and we'll, because this session is being recorded, you'll be able to access this slide later on as well. But yeah, definitely stay connected, because if you don't reach out, we won't know that you're having like issues, or if there's any concerns that you're having. So if you reach out early, we'll be able to best assist you.
So one of the biggest questions that we get asked across the board from students is, okay, so I do this short course, what can I get out of it at the end? And so these are the sorts of jobs that you can get with just your undergrad certificate, with just your short course. So like I said before, do keep in mind that these aren't the sort of qualifications after 6 months of study, you're not going to be qualified to go out and take on high level positions in these fields. But what they are is they will allow you these entry-level positions. So for example, if you're in health science and you're looking at aged care support or disability support. Now, I actually worked in this field for about 10 years, and these are the sorts of jobs that you can get basically with very little experience and very little qualifications. But what a short course will do is it puts you to the front of the line in these fields. And so when you're looking at mental health support work, for example, I once had a job where literally every Tuesday, what I did was I went and picked up one of my clients. He had a traumatic brain injury, and so going shopping was really overwhelming for him. And so off we would go shopping together, and we'd be in the cereal aisle, and he'd be looking at the cereal, and he'd get a little bit confused, and I'd just be there to say, hey, don't we usually get Nutrigrain? He'd be like, yeah, I get Nutrigrain. Or I would take him out places when he was in public. He just needed someone there to sort of ground him. And so that's the sort of job that these qualifications can lead to. You could work at an IT help desk or IT customer support, environmental officer in a variety of fields, working in Parks and Rec, or working for the National Parks and Wildlife, being a children's guide at the zoo, things like this, where environmental sustainability, environmental courses come into it. Working in public health, we got a really lovely email from a student just recently who did our course in public health support, and she had just been appointed as a coordinator and manager for Meals on Wheels as a basis of it. And so there are a variety of roles where you can take on a position in this. A recreational leisure officer at a disability house, or at an aged care facility, a community development officer. If you're in early childcare, a teacher's aide, or something that again assists teachers. It's not going to qualify you to be a teacher, but working in a facility as an extra student, as an extra hand there, working in cybersecurity. And if you're currently working in administration, or you're currently working for a small business, these are the sorts of qualifications that can allow you to upskill your role and take on more responsibility, become a bigger part of that industry. I did see someone just pop up with a question there, and they asked about engineering jobs. Again, 4 units is not going to qualify you to be an engineer. And thankfully so. I don't want to drive across bridges that have been designed by somebody who has done 4 undergraduate subjects. Being an engineer takes years and years and years and years of study and practice. But what these jobs will do will introduce you to the field. They will introduce you to the role. And so again, if you're working in as a trade, in construction, in places like that, it's going to give you a deeper insight into the roles that you have. It's going to allow you to apply for that extra promotion. It's going to allow you to push up in that role that you already have, give you an entry level there. What it also does is it gives you a guaranteed entry into the Diploma of Engineering and puts you on that pathway. So look, university is an amazing place, because when you're studying the things that you want to study, you'll be surprised by just how intelligent you always were and never realized. Because at high school, you're forced to do all these subjects you don't like, you don't want to do, you're not interested in, and suddenly you're there and you're reading Shakespeare and wondering, why the hell am I doing this? I don't understand it. And then suddenly you're doing a course where you're doing things you're really passionate about, really interested about, and you'll be surprised by just how good you are at it. And so we do encourage you to give it a crack, get in there and have a go. So these are the sorts of jobs that you can do. So what about timelines? When does all this have to happen? As Maria spoke about, we run in block mode, which means some people, I've seen in the chat box, some people have asked about terms. We don't run terms, we run blocks. So they run 6 weeks at a time, and we run 6 blocks a year. So we're currently just finishing block B, which was our first intake. We're about to start block C, which will be another intake, and we have intakes in every single block. So the next block that kicks off is block C. It begins on the 26th of April, so just over 2 weeks away. You have to apply for that block before the 18th. And I understand that most people watching this or listening to this, and again, the beauty of the nature of these courses is that there are going to be people who are watching this tomorrow or tonight or 2 days from now. And this is the way that our courses operate, is they're designed for flexibility. So if you're watching this tomorrow, I hope it's a lovely day and you're having a great time. And so you need to apply though by the 18th of April. So just under 2 weeks from now is when applications will close for that block. So it's really important you get those in. But if you're not sure, block D is an option, block E is an option, block F is an option. Our blocks will continue to roll. The one date that I really want to point out in here is I really want to point out down where you've got the census date. The census date is really important because that is the last day that you can withdraw before you actually have to pay for the unit. And which means that you can try the course for a week and a half. You withdraw before that date, no harm, no foul. You don't pay for it. It was like you never did it. So if you're a bit iffy going, oh, I don't know how I'll cope, give it a go, see what happens. If you don't like it, withdraw before that date and make sure you withdraw before that date. We'll send out announcements to remind you of that date and when it's happening so you won't be able to miss it. And so I'd really, really encourage you to do that. So the last thing I want to say is it is really important that you get your application in because that's going to help us be able to understand how many students we've got, how many teachers we need, how many classes we need. It's going to allow us the smoothest possible transition into your courses so that we can make sure you can hit the ground running. And so jump on that application, get it done. You'll get provided you haven't put applications in for other courses and various things, you'll get an offer to these courses and then you can make your mind up going forward. So it's really simple, hit that apply button. You don't have to deal with UAC and documents and all that sort of stuff. Go in there and get it done.